It's not every day that you find somebody that's the love of your life or your soulmate, but I imagine for people who find this, it's relaxing and it's invigorating. It's very, very worth it. You feel happy that somebody understands you for who you are and not really what you are. Must be a great experience. And this is what happened for a lady by the name of Chianti Means. On Facebook, she went as Diamond Scott. She was so much in love that if you look at her Facebook, she has wifey, Jeff's baby's mama. That's how much she loved this guy. Now, I want to kind of get into that in the Black community, because when you find Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, sometimes that person may not always be Black. Mr. Right may not be Mr. Black, but Mr. Right may be Mr. White. And in the case of Chianti Means, that is exactly what she found. She found a guy by the name of Jeffrey C. Whitmer. Now, this is the young man in question with the glasses. She had a child from a previous relationship. I'm also believing that this was from a white guy. And so she got with Jeffrey C. Whitmer, and they had a 5-month-old child together, of course, mixed race. But of course, relationships, just like people, can fall apart. And Mr. Whitmer did not want to deal with Diamond Scott anymore. For whatever reason, he was done. He couldn't handle whatever she was dishing out, and he wanted to be left alone. And of course, Diamond Scott took to her Facebook to abuse the baby daddy publicly, but I'm not going to go over that because she recanted a lot of those things. But I want to talk about Jeffrey Whitmer. Jeffrey C. Whitmer was a man that had a lot of problems. He wasn't the kind of guy that you would want to hang around. Now, Chianti Means was a lady that graduated college, but according to sources, this was what Mr. Whitmer was all about.
According to her Facebook, she was obsessed with a psychotic, abusive white or Native American man named Jeff Whitmer. She was so happy to finally have a white man and a mixed-race daughter, although her son may have been mixed race. Her son was 9-year-old Rossman, and baby daughter was Mecca Means, who didn't even have the white man's last name. This was a bottom-shelf brat through and through. He worked at a supermarket and 7-Eleven, and he also did 5 years in jail for abuse of a minor. The Black woman got her master's degree in social work, but was extremely obsessed with this white man.
I want to give a shout out to the Only Logical YouTube channel, who also covered this same exact story. As you can see in the B-roll there, he had went to prison for 5 years. Want to know why? Because his ex-girlfriend had a 4-year-old daughter, and he basically threw the young lady against a nightstand, damaging her severely. He spent 5 years in prison. On the other hand, Chianti Means was a lady that graduated college, and I believe she had a master's degree in social work. So you would believe that she would want nothing to do with a man like this, but oh, to the contrary, she did. And imagine being with a man that's a felon that has no real opportunity in life, and you're begging for this guy to come back. And that's exactly what happened on Facebook. The beginning of the end started on September 29th. She put this: "I wish someone would love me because the man that's supposed to does not." Wow, that's very telling. But on October 1st, she had an upbeat spirit. She said, "Everyone, please leave me alone. I'm in love with my daughter's father. I want my family back. Respectfully, I don't give an F what I said about him before or what anyone else thinks." That was October 1st. And we will start to see a range of emotions through and through, depending on how she's feeling on Facebook that day. Now, I want to talk about this particular situation where a woman by the name of Guap Robinson shared a post, and it was October 2nd. "I don't care about no damn body count. Did you let a white man hit, yes or no?" Now, Diamond Scott said this: "Had a whole baby by him, y'all. I love it here." Now, this is interesting. She's basically claiming this man who doesn't claim her back. He wants nothing to do with her, but she's talking about how much she loves it there, but she's not really there. And ultimately, she just couldn't take it anymore. So what happened on October 28th?
Now, what were the actual, circumstances of how that went down? That is the part that we may know or may be able to solve, or we may never know. But the fact of the matter is, we don't believe there are any other parties involved. We're just talking about those 3 victims, those 3 individuals.
So as you can see in the background, that is the Niagara Falls Dam. So you can't step over there And that's what she did. She literally stepped over there, not by herself, but with her kids. And she started with her 9-year-old. The children had no idea what was going to happen. They pushed the 9-year-old into the water off the dam, instantly, most likely, unaliving the child. Then the 5-month-year-old went. That was number 2. Then Diamond Scott jumped in herself, making it 3. Now, this is interesting because the 9-year-old was not the child of Mr. Whitmer, but the 5-year-old child was. And because the white man didn't want to be with her anymore, this was her way of possibly punishing her, because we don't know if Mr. Whitmer had a relationship with the 9-year-old, but definitely the 5-year-old. So it's like, oh, okay, so since you don't want me and me back in our family, I'm going to remove the possibility from you being with us forever, and blaming Mr. Whitmer for the situation. But I kind of want to talk about this post on the 7th and what people were saying in the comments of this post. Monique says this: "That was a demon. She couldn't see that devil tried to steal her soul, and he did. Women, men must be careful how they have sex with the opposite sex. When it's done without heart, it's only a transfer of spirits. That's why God honors marriages when it's done right. Anybody is supposed to have access to your body, and the baby daddy only reassures he's still for anybody. A ring would say he wants you and you only. You wouldn't have to second guess a thing. This is so sad. Prayer for this family." I respectfully disagree. I don't think he stole anything. She did it to herself. And again, I think this is weak for her to blame the man because of what she did to herself. And the 2 ladies, she likes white men. That's what she always dealt with. And so now you want to blame the man when she chose exactly who she wanted to be with. In fact, the guy didn't even want to be with her. So this is weak, and this is also trying to bail out situation when really it's her fault. Now, other people are commenting on it too, like the lady So here. "Shaking my head, prime example of loving a man more than your kids." This person, Latoya Allen: "Damn, PPD is no joke. She was losing herself." Carl: "And she unalived herself for that white man?" Cherie says, "Was you cool the F? What was you thinking?" Then somebody posted his picture below, right? And I've already talked about his past and things like that. Now there's some other posts. "Being obsessed with another human is actually insane." She put this on October 22nd. "Imagine having a baby with the person you dream about." So these were also posts that she was putting. And then October 25th, 4 days or 3 days before, she deleted her this same child. "And my daughter is beautiful." Let me just talk about this, because you have so many ladies out here in the Black community, for whatever reason, that are in love with men of other races or communities. And ultimately, what you always see is whenever somebody has this perspective, they always get somebody of the lowest quality of another race, because they're not looking at the character of that individual. They're basically looking at the individual's race. And it's just like also being in business. I found that people who are in business just to make money are never good business people, and they never have anything, and they never sustain the business. But people who love the business and want to do it the right way are the ones that actually do very well. And there are good people of every community, of every culture, and every color. But that person just can't be Black, or it just can't be white. That person has to also have great standards, but you also as an individual have to gain those standards yourself to acquire what you're looking for. In the case of Diamond Scott, she fell in love with a white guy who just didn't really want to be with her. And it was a guy that unfortunately didn't have a whole lot to offer her, or anybody else for that matter. And the reason why she could even fall for a guy like this is because that was the best that ultimately that she could do. And she was so down and depressed because he wouldn't take her back. So if she can't get taken back by a guy like this, she probably feels like, well, who else would want me? And you know, that's unfortunate. And I just hope that we can all learn from the situation and kind of figure it out. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Shady Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.